In this video, just for practice, we're going to keep working through some non-homogeneous second-order differential equations that have some issues to sort out in the particular integral part. So pause the video and have a go at this. Okay, so starting with the general solution to the complementary function, we've got our auxiliary equation of 4m squared minus 4m plus 1 equals 0. This is going to give us a single solution of m equals a half. So that means that our complementary function is going to be y equals, well, it's a general linear term of a plus bx multiplied by e to the half x. Now this introduces an interesting challenge for us in the particular integral. Now the reason for that is, I've told you that, okay, notice, by the way, let's take a step back. We would want to guess lambda e to the half x, but we already have an a e to the half x in our complementary function. So my suggestion there would be guess x e to the half x, but we already have b x e to the half x. Any guesses as to what we guess then? It's just x squared e to the half x. So my guess is going to be y equals lambda x squared e to the half x. Let's see what we get. So dy by dx, using the product rule here, u v is u v dash. So v dash is half, so half e to the half x. So it's half lambda x squared e to the half x plus u dash v. U dash is 2 lambda x, so 2 lambda x e to the half x. Second derivative. Product rule on both of these. So this one, u v. So u v dash gives us another half, so that's a quarter lambda x squared e to the half x. Plus u dash v. U dash is going to be, 2 comes down and cancels with the half, so that's just lambda x e to the half x. This one here, u v. So u v dash, the v dash gives us a half that cancels here, so that's lambda x e to the half x. Plus u dash v. U dash is just 2 lambda, so 2 lambda e to the half x. Now, subbing into the original differential equation, we've got 4 d2y by dx squared, so 4 of these, so that's 4 times that, so lambda x squared e to the half x. Now, I've already got 2 lambda x e to the half x, so I've got 4 of those, so that is 8 lambda x e to the half x. Now, 4 of these gives me 8 lambda e to the half x. Now, minus 4 dy by dx, so minus 4 of these. So minus 4 of these gives me minus 2 lambda x squared e to the half x. Minus 4 of these gives me minus 8 lambda x e to the half x. And finally, plus y. So that's plus the original function, which was lambda x squared e to the half x. That needs to be the same as 4e to the half x. So let's review and see what we've got. Well, how many lambda x squared e to the half x we've got? Well, we've got 1 of them, minus 2 of them, plus 1 of them. So they are all gone. How about lambda x e to the x's? Well, I've got 8 of them here, 8 lambda x e to the half x, minus 8 lambda x e to the half x. So they're gone. So all that remains is 8 lambda e to the half x, which needs to equal 4 e to the half x. That means that lambda is a half. Okay, so that tells me that my general solution is a complementary function of a plus bx e to the half x plus a half x squared e to the half x. So let's go ahead and find a and b. Okay, let's go ahead and use these boundary conditions now to find a and b. So dy by dx is, okay, product rule here, here's my u, here's my v, so it's uv dash, that's the half from the v dash, a plus bx e to the half x, and it's u dash, which is just b, times v. Plus, now another product rule, uv dash, so u times v dash, that's a half there, so that's a quarter x squared e to the half x, plus u dash, which is just x, v. All right, subbing in, so zeros all the way, so y equals 0 and when x equals 0, so that's a plus 0 times e to the 0, so that's just a, plus half times 0, 0, okay, a equals 0. Then dy by dx is 0 as well, so looking at this one, we have 0 equals half of, well, a is 0 and x is 0, so that whole thing is 0, plus b times e to the 0, so that's plus b, plus a quarter of 0 plus 0, so b equals 0 as well. So in the end, we discover that a was 0 and b was 0, which means actually the general solution, or the particular solution here, is just the particular integral. It's just half x squared e to the half x. So the entire complementary function just disappeared then, and that is our particular solution to this differential equation. Okay, let's have a go at this one here, another mechanics style differential equation. A 2 kilogram particle is dropped and falls from rest vertically downwards. The resistance of motion is 5 v newtons, where v is the particle's velocity after t seconds. The displacement from where it is dropped is x. Find an expression for x in terms of t and g, the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, well, let's start with forces. So we've got our 2 kilogram particle. Now we've got its weight going down, which is 2g. And we've got the resistance to motion, which is 5v. So using F equals ma, we can say the resultant force, let's take down as the positive direction. The resultant force is 2g minus 5v, and that equals the mass, which is 2 times the acceleration. Okay, so where's our differential equation? Well, recall that acceleration is the derivative of velocity with respect to time. And that's great. That would give us a differential equation, but it wouldn't give us x, which is the displacement it is from where it's dropped. But also remember that v is the derivative of displacement with respect to time. So that's 5 dx by dt. And acceleration is the second derivative of displacement, d2x by dt squared. And here is our second order differential equation. Let's shuffle this around to make it look a bit more familiar. So I've got 2 d2x by dt squared. Moving the 5 dx by dt to the other side, I get plus 5 dx by dt, and that equals 2g. So look, here's the homogeneous part, and here's the bit that makes it non-homogeneous. So we can just solve this now. My auxiliary equation is 2m squared plus 5m equals 0. This gives me solutions of m equals 0 and m equals minus 5 over 2. So this tells me that my complementary function is x equals a e to the 0, so that's just a, plus b e to the minus 5 over 2 t. So there's my complementary function done. Now it's time to look at my particular integral. Now the particular integral here is a constant, 2g is a constant, but I already have a constant in my complementary function, which means my guess of the form needs to be x equals, well, if it's a constant here but you already have a constant there, we're just going to guess linear. So that's just lambda t. We don't need to bother with a mu because we know that the mu will cancel because it's constant. So dx by dt is lambda, and we don't really need it, but d2x by dt squared is 0. Subbing into this differential equation, we get 2 times the second derivative, which is 0, plus 5 times the first derivative, 5 lambda. That needs to equal 2g. So that tells me that lambda equals 2/5 g. Okay, so we now have our particular integral. It's x equals 2/5 g times t. So now we have our solution, or our general solution at least. It's x equals a plus b e to the 5/2t plus 2/5 gt. We want to work out what a and b are. So do we have any boundary conditions? Well, we actually do, because it says it falls from rest and x is measured from where it's dropped. So what we actually know is that when when t equals 0, x equals 0, but it starts from rest, which means v is 0, but v is dx by dt. So we actually have some nice boundary conditions there. Let's find dx by dt here, so we can sub in. So a goes, we're left with minus 5/2 b e to the minus 5/2t plus, and then, well, we just get 2/5 g, the constant part of that. All right, so let's sub in 0 for x and 0 for t. So we get 0 for x is a plus b times e to the 0, which is b, plus some lot of 0. So a plus b equals 0. Now, subbing into this one here, we get 0 for dx by dt is minus 5/2 b times e to the 0, which is 1, plus 2/5 g. So that means that positive 5/2b is 2/5 g, and therefore b is 4/25 g, and that means that a is minus 4/25 g, which, if I can just sneak all of this in, means the particular solution to the whole thing is x equals a, which is minus 4/25 g, plus b, which is 4/25 g e to the minus 5/2t, and plus our complementary function, which was 2/5 gt. Now, this supposedly models the distance from wherever they'll drop from. It looks kind of complicated, so let's just check this out in GeoGebra, see what it actually looks like. So here's what it looks like, and let's just make sense of this. The first thing to say is we don't care about the values on the left-hand side. We want t starting at 0. So, okay, it's got the fact that it starts x is 0 when t is 0, and also it's got a nice 0 gradient, so it starts from rest. Now, what seems to be happening here is it seems to be accelerating, but then tending towards a straight line. And this actually makes sense because a straight line on a displacement time graph is a constant speed. So this parachutist is tending towards a constant speed, and that is their terminal velocity. So this makes a lot of sense, particularly if we zoom in, this would make some sense, which is their speed initially, they begin to accelerate quite rapidly, but then they basically stop accelerating, or the acceleration tends to 0 as the air resistance increases and increases, and they're tending towards a constant speed, and that's what that constant gradient line is there. Okay, so that is non-homogeneous second order differential equations. You can see we can solve some pretty advanced problems, and I hope you enjoyed learning about it. See you in the next video.